everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be pros and cons to owning a pet bunny. So I recently got a pet bunny and his name is Sparrow. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm feeding him watermelon right now. So I recently got Sparrow, I want to say about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago, I think is when I got him. Maybe a little longer than that since I've had him. And there's been a lot of little changes that I've had to make when having a pet bunny. A pet bunny is very different than having any other kind of pet. They're a little bit more like keep to themselves as opposed to maybe a dog or a bird or a cat would be, or even something like a hamster or a gerbil. A bunny is still a little bit more keep to themselves than another pet like that. So we'll start with the pros of having a bunny. One of the major pros to having a bunny is that they are small. Bunnies are great if you live in an apartment or have roommates or you're sharing a room with somebody and you can't physically hold a big animal. Bunnies are good because they're very little. I'm actually sitting, you may have noticed I'm sitting in a cage. This is actually his cage. I also wanted somewhere that I could go in and spend some time with him without having him to come out of his cage because he's not quite litter box trained. But they're pretty small, so they don't need a massive space, but just enough that they can kind of run around a little bit. So that's definitely one of the pros. Another pro to bunnies is that they're pretty quiet. Bunnies do run around quite a bit during like early hours and towards the later night. He likes to run around, I would say every day around 6:30. That's when he decides he wants to run, so he runs back and forth. And yes, he wakes me up but he doesn't do it for very long. I don't know if this changes from bunny to bunny, how long that they have their little spurts of energy. I know for him, he usually just runs back and forth within his little cage a couple of different times, and then that's kind of all he needs to kind of tire him back down and get him to settle down and sleep. But they're very quiet. He's sitting right here next to me, and I can't hear him making any noise whatsoever, even though he's moving around and he's smelling things and he was eating watermelon. I really can't hear anything. So they're very quiet. Another pro to having a pet bunny is their feeding and their watering. His food container is an automatic dispenser type thing, so you fill up the container in the top and then it disperses it in the bottom bowl, and then when he's eaten a little bit of it, it'll continue to fill it up. So it's very good for just making sure that he's always having food. There's certain brands of rabbit food that I'm sure are better than others, and you can do a little more research on which one would be best for your bunny. But they also have them labeled based on ages, so there's some that are designed for smaller rabbits whose teeth are a little bit sharper, but also it's packed with more nutrients. As they get older, they need less and less of these nutrients that they need as a child, and so they have an adult formula that's formulated specifically for when they're older. That's another thing is getting him that hay. You can find the hay just about anywhere. You can get it at PetSmart, Petco, Tractor Supply. I think you can even get it at places like Walmart, things like that, where they sell animal supplies. Another pro to owning a pet bunny is they're very good at self-cleaning. And the final pro that I have for this video about bunnies is that they're very self-entertained. Because you can leave your bunny in a play place either outside or inside for a while, and they can entertain themselves for a while. You just leave them be and let them roam. They can find their own means of entertainment. A bunny you can leave and they'll be able to entertain themselves for a while, and they'll be perfectly content. So there are definitely some cons involved to owning a pet bunny. So if you are not a person who wants a tiny pet, if you want a bigger pet, do not go for a bunny. They don't get that big. Not a domesticated pet bunny. So if you want something that you can take on long walks, or you can play with in the yard, or something like that, get yourself a dog. Get yourself a dog. Because you're not going to get that from a bunny. They're just too small to have that. They have a lot of energy. They have a really fast heart rate, but they're just too small to really play with you. And kind of following off that last one, and also bunnies being self-entertained. These are not pets that you can play with all the time. They will not play with you. They will come up to you. They will love on you once you've earned their trust. They may let you hold them for a little bit. But bunnies are not designed to be companions with people. You have to teach them that you're going to take care of them, and then slowly over time, they will learn to want to be around you. I would say another con of having a pet bunny is litter box training. He currently is not. We've been trying to get him litter box trained. We've been looking up videos and tips and tricks, and he's kind of half. So he'll go half in his litter box and half in the rest of the cage. And so we're trying to get it to the point where it's all in the litter box. That's probably one of the main cons, is litter box training is very hard. So if you don't want to deal with litter boxes, a bunny is just not the pet for you. But if you don't mind the litter box, that's literally the most inconvenient part of owning a bunny, is that their litter box training. So those are my pros and cons to owning a bunny. Again, the pros really just outweigh the cons for the most part. I think the only thing, like I was saying in the last con, that I'm still kind of struggling with is the litter box training. But other than that, all of his other cons are things that you can really fix and adjust and work with if you just have some patience and some time and you're willing to put in effort. Definitely a good investment if you're willing to deal with the litter box, because they are just very quiet, especially if you're somebody who has a job like me where I'm a teacher, so I'm gone most of the day. So hopefully you enjoyed this movie. Hopefully you found it insightful and informational, and if you are interested in getting a bunny, hopefully you'll take these pros and cons to heart before you go and buy one. If you do have one and you want to send me pictures or do a video showing your bunny, please do. I would love to see your bunny. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, comment what you want to see, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for joining me for my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.